What's up, Foundation? What's up, YouTube? Man, it's me, your big partner, man, Cartoon One, the Village Storyteller, man. Man, I'm back again. It's story time, man. It's story time. I know y'all been wondering where I was at. I've been remiss in my actions on getting the stories out on the Village Storyteller channel, in a quick and prompt manner. But now you know that's something that's gonna stop. But now your big partner, I'm back again, man. This is a grabber right here, y'all. I'm not finna give you no type of synopsis on this one. I'm not finna tell you what it's about. I'm not finna tell you what street it's finna go down. I'm not finna tell you nothing. I ain't finna tell you nothing. I'm just gonna give you the story. Live and in color, man. How about that? Man, this story takes place in a small town in Georgia. Small town in Georgia. Predominantly white town, you know what I'm saying? It goes back it goes back in the days when they would say from the other side of the tracks, where you had whites on one side of the tracks and you had blacks on the other side of the tracks. And it was kind of like that. It was one of them things where everybody knew their place. Everybody knew where they belonged. Everybody knew where they were supposed to be. Everybody knew where not to go, where to go, and that was just that. Okay. You had two officers. They rode together all the time. One by the name of Thompson and the other by the name of Bordeaux. Now, Thompson was a tall white officer. Sandy red hair, freckles, mean, real mean. Um, Bordeaux was thin, kind of tall. Um, he had blue eyes, but it looked like he always had a permanent tan. It just looked like he tanned a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like he always had a tan. And so anyway, they were partners. They had been partners for 2, 3 years, about 3 years now. And Thompson ended up telling his partner one day, he said, "Man, gotta get in another group. We gotta get in this group." And so his partner Bordeaux asked him, "What do you mean? What group? What group?" He said, "Man, listen, I'm gonna go ahead and let you in on something, but now it's between us. Can I trust you?" So Bordeaux told him, he said, "Yeah, you can trust me. What's going on?" He said, "Listen, I'm trying to get into a group called the Knights of the Dark." So Bordeaux looked at him, "Knights of the Dark? You like, what is that?" He say, "It's a splinter group. It's an off branch group of the clan." So Bordeaux looked at him. I said, "Off? What do you mean? I've never." He said, "It's a chapter." He said, "It's a certain chapter that's homegrown right here in Georgia. We're a part of the clan, but we just come up under a different name." And I finally I've been trying to get in for a long time, and they finally gonna let me in. And so Bordeaux had asked him. He said, "Man, well, what do you got to do to get in? What do you got to do to be a part of the Knights of the Dark?" And he told him, he said, "Man, you got to kill one of the blacks." Of course, he used the N word, but I don't use that word, so y'all got to bear with me. He said, "You got to kill an Nigger." So Bordeaux looked at him. He said, "Really?" He like, "Yeah." He say, "So you gonna go through with it?" He say, "Yeah, I'm gonna go through with it." He said, "I want to be a part of it." He said, "Plus, I don't mind killing them. They're vermin anyway. The less, the better." So now here it is. Bordeaux told him, he said, "Well, if that's the type of group you want to be a part of, it's on you." So Thompson looked at him. He said, "Man, you don't want to be a part of it too? I can get you in." But Bordeaux told him, he said, nah, I don't want to be a part of it. Um, I don't want nothing to do with it, man. I'm just gonna stay regular. So Thompson told him, okay, well, suit you. So time goes on, time goes on, time goes on. They doing their thing. So one day, Bordeaux, he had been thinking about it. He had been thinking about it. And he asked Thompson, he said, look, you sure you want to go through with that? You sure you want to be a part of a hate group? He like, yeah. And he told me, say, um, most of the officers in the precinct are already a part of it. You know what I'm saying? We left out. Me and you, we gotta become part of it if you down. So Bordeaux told him, he said, no, I'm not down, but if that's what you want to do, that's gonna be on you. He said, well, when do you plan on doing whatever this is that you finna do? You know what I'm saying? When you plan on enacting this, and who? You just gonna pick or one of the random blacks from across the track? He said no. He said no. He said, I want that SOB, which is a son of a B, that runs the gang, that main gang they got over there. You know what I'm saying? He's been in town now for about 6 months, but he's moving up the ranks in that gang. He took over. They do what he say do. I know he got a lot on him. I know shootings, drugs, beating up people. Yeah, he's been on our radar now for a few months. So Bordeaux told me, say, yeah, I know you're talking about. I know the guy. Yeah, his name is ringing around the city now. He like, yeah. He said, we're gonna kill that son of a B. He said, no, he said he was gonna kill him. He said, I'm gonna kill that son of a B. He said, I'm gonna make my bones off of him. He said, I'm killing two birds with one stone. He said, one, we getting some scum, some criminal scum, gang banging criminal scum off the face of the planet. And he said, two, we gonna kill us one of them dirty NIGGERs. He say it's a win-win situation to me. So Bordeaux just looked at him like, okay. He said, you down with me? He said, no, I'm down with you, but if that's what you gonna do, that's what you want to do. But now this right here bothered. This right here really, really, really bothered Bordeaux. See, Bordeaux had that name for a reason. Bordeaux, he had got his name, which was his family name, but they originally came from Louisiana. Small little town in Louisiana, out in the bayous. And Bordeaux would always go back to see his family. But what a lot of people didn't know was Bordeaux was black. He was a mulatto. He had blue eyes, light skin, you know what I'm saying, but it had a tint to it. The straight hair. He looked white. But now, of course, his mother was white and his father was black. But he came from a long line of mulattoes. And nobody in Georgia knew that he was half black. Nobody knew his background. Nobody knew anything about him. They knew his name was Bordeaux. They knew he was a good officer, and he didn't cause a lot of problems. He never got nobody way. And Bordeaux used his whiteness to get in and fit in, to be accepted in that side of society. He used it. He used it to his advantage, because his mother would always tell him, look, if it's no need for you to reveal your true heritage, don't. Use every opportunity you can to use how you look to get a step up in life. And he would tell his mother, yeah, okay. So now here it is, all these years later, he's in Georgia. So as time going on, the day came that Thompson wanted to pull a stunt that he was planning on pulling that night. Now T-Bone had been in town 6 months. He had been causing a lot of ruckus. A lot of ruckus. You know what I'm saying? The FBI was looking at him. The regular police was looking at him. DEA was looking at him. He had his hands in a lot of stuff, man. They didn't know where he came from, where he showed up from, or nothing. They just knew one day he was there. One day and the next day he was running the gang. And the next day it just was all HELL was breaking loose on that side of the tracks. And they wanted him. They wanted him by any means necessary. They wanted him. So one day, Thompson and Bordeaux, they driving. And it was about 5 or 6 o'clock at night. It was getting kind of late. And they was on that side of the tracks patrolling, you know what I'm saying, doing their thing, and they run down on T-Bone's car. They see his car, but they don't see him. So they hit the block, and when they came back around, they was coming down the street slow. They seen T-Bone come out of a house. They seen T-Bone come out of a house, and they seen him walk across the street and get in the car. So they stopped. T-Bone he wasn't paying attention to his surroundings. When he got in the car, he drove off. Boom. Thompson pulled up behind him. So Thompson tells Bordeaux, he said, "Look, that's him. That's that son of a B right there. That's T-Bone right there." He said, "Today is the day." He said, "Today is the day that we end his career." So, you know, it bothered Bordeaux deep down inside. It was eating him up. But he didn't want to rock the boat. So they followed T-Bone. They followed him. T-Bone was leaving out of town. Like say driving. I guess he was going to the next town or whatever. But they called him out on an open road. They called T-Bone out on an open road and they blipped him. Bloop. Woo, 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 woo. So T-Bone knew he couldn't outrun him. He pulls over. So when he pulls over, Officer Thompson gets out the car and he walks up to the window. Beep, beep, beep. Window come down. So Thompson tell him, license and registration. So T-Bone gets smart. He like, "Man, but license and registration for what? What you stopping me for?" So Officer Thompson tell him, "You ran a red light." So T-Bone looks around. He say, "Man, what you mean I ran a red light? Ain't no lights out here. What you talking about, man? You just harassing me. Ain't no lights out here." He like, you ran a red light, you son of a B." He said, "In fact, get out the car." He come up with his gun and he draw down on him. So T-Bone throw his hands up. "Whoa, hold on, partner, you tripping." So Officer Thompson tell him, "Get out the car now." Boom, he backs up. T-Bone gets out the car. He tell him, turn around. So when he turns around, Officer Thompson runs up on him and pushes him and put the gun to the back of his head. He tell him, "You make one wrong move, you black son of a B, and I'll blow your head off." So T-Bone tell him, "Man, I ain't finna do nothing, man. I ain't finna do nothing. Y'all tripping, man. Y'all got me out here on this dark road at night, and y'all tripping, man. I ain't did nothing." He said, "Oh, you did a lot." Officer Thompson tell him, "Oh, you did a lot, and you been doing a lot." He said, "Yeah, and your time's up." So T-Bone kind of looking. So now Officer Bordeaux is at the back of the car on the other side. He got his gun out too. So he watching him because he don't know T-Bone. You know, T-Bone's a bad actor now. But now he also knows the stunt that his partner Thompson is finna pull. And it's bothering him. But he don't want to rock the boat, man. He want to fit in. He's let so much other stuff go by that he didn't say nothing about. He like, man, you know, he figured, man, what's one more? What's one more, you know, indiscretion? So Officer Thompson, he got the gun on T-Bone. He patting him down. T-Bone got a wallet in his back pocket. So he pulls the wallet out. Boom. He takes the wallet. He seen how much money was in it. About $2,000 was in it. Big bills. He said, yeah. He said, what's this, some of your drug money? He said, man, I ain't got no drug money. That's what T-Bone told him. I don't got no drug money. I don't sell dope. He like, you a black liar. I know you sell dope. I know everything you doing. You the scum of the earth. So T-Bone tell him, man, you tripping, man. You just tripping, man, for no reason. So now Officer Thompson takes the wallet and he throws it over the car to Officer Bordeaux. He said, hold that, keep that. But his thing was he wanted to get that identification up off of him. He wanted to get it up off of him. So Officer Thompson tells him, don't move. Don't move. I mean it. Don't move. I'm finna run a check on you. So T-Bone tell him, he say, man, I ain't finna go nowhere, man. I ain't finna do nothing. He say, yeah, okay. So he tells Officer Bordeaux, he say, man, keep your gun on him. Make sure you don't run off. Don't let him go nowhere. He said, I got him, partner. I got him. That's what Officer Bordeaux say. He got the gun in one hand, but he got the wallet in the other hand. So Officer Thompson walks back to the police car, and he leans in, and he hits the switch on the dash cam. You know, all the police, they keep the dash cam. He hits the switch on the dash cam. He don't want this being recorded. He said, okay. Okay. Bing. When he walks back up on him, he gets in back of him, and he looks over at Bordeaux, and he hits his body cam. Bordeaux know he just turned his body camera off. Officer Thompson gives Officer Bordeaux the head nod. That let them know, kill your body cam. So Officer Bordeaux turned his body cam off. They figured they'd rather have to explain that than, be seen for what's finna happen out on this dark black road in Georgia. So now, Officer Thompson gets up on him and he starts whispering in his ear. He say, you finna die, you black SOB. I hate your kind. So T-Bone got his hands on the car. He like, man, what are you talking about, man? You tripping. Man, let me go, man. I ain't did nothing. So Officer Thompson tell him, no, no. Oh, you did something. You've done a whole lot. So while they having their tete-a-tete back and forth, Officer Bordeaux, he looks at the wallet. He opens up the wallet. When he looks in it, it's a picture ID right here. It's a picture ID right here. And in the picture, in the picture ID, the name on the picture ID is Jonathan Champel. So when Officer Bordeaux, he's looking at it, Champel. He keeps saying the name, Champel. Champel, Champel. Now the only people he had ever heard of with that name was a family in the little town in Louisiana where he came from, the Champels. In fact, his family, the Bordeaux, and the Champel family were like this. He knew his family history. He knew that the grandfather of the Champels had saved his grandfather's life when he was about to be killed by some Klansmen one night. And old man Champel saved his life. And they had been helping each other for years. But now, the address on the ID was a California address, though. So he was wondering. So now he knew what was about to happen, but he was still wondering. So by this time, Officer Thompson done backed up, and he took his gun and he hit T-Bone over the back of the head. Boom! Oh! Dropped him to the ground, and he started kicking him. Calling him all type of names. He picked T-Bone up by his collar and started walking with him, pushed him. Walk around the car. Walk around the car. So at this time, T-Bone knew he was in trouble. T-Bone know this was some serious stuff right here. This might be something that he wasn't going to be able to walk away from. Because they got him both drawed down on. They got him dead to rights. And it's dark. And they out on this lonely Georgia road. And now they finna go off into the bushes. So Officer Thompson tell him, he say, man, walk. He said, man, what's going on, man? What you finna do? He said, I told you what I'm finna do. Don't get in the bushes now. So now T-Bone go to plead with him. He say, hold on, man, wait a minute. This ain't gotta happen. He say, you tripping, man. This ain't gotta happen. So Officer Thompson tell him, oh yeah, it gotta happen. It gotta happen. Get over there. So T-Bone tell him, he say, man, I ain't going no further, man. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Whatever you gonna do, you finna do it out here in the open. He say, man, because I'm not going in them bushes. So Officer Thompson as he got him, he backed up off of him. He say, hey, I don't care. I don't mind. Have it your way. I don't care. So while all this was going on, Officer Bordeaux was thinking. He was like thinking. And it just bothered him. He had to stop. He said, hey. He said, wait a minute, hold on. He said, where you from? He said, man, I'm from California. He said, no. Where you originally from? Where your family from? So T-Bone was like, man, why? And Officer Thompson was asking why too. Why? Why? What difference do it make? His family finna be the devil in a minute. He said, hold on. He said, oh, wait. He said, where you originally from? He said, man, I'm from California. He said, but my family's originally from Louisiana. Officer Bordeaux leaned back. He said, what? He said, where at in Louisiana? And he told him. And he told him they from the same small town out in the bayous of Louisiana. He said, man, what's your grandfather's name? And he said it. He didn't know it. He said, you have another grandfather? He said, well, I have a great-grandfather that passed away. He said, what was his name? He said his name. And when he said his name, Officer Bordeaux's eyes lit up. Because this was the man who had saved his grandfather's life. This was the man who had his family, the Bordeaux's, the Champels, look out and help his family, the Bordeaux's. And right then and there, Officer Bordeaux knew he couldn't let this happen. He couldn't let it happen, man. So he backed up and he told Officer Thompson, he said, let him go. Officer Thompson said, I'm not finna let this SOB go. He finna die. He said, no, he's not. Let him go. Let him go. He said, what's wrong with you? What are you tripping on? He said, we got him. Let's go and get rid of him. We can join him, get us both in. He said, no, we gonna let him go. So Officer Thomas, he said, man, I'm not finna let this SOB go. He finna die tonight. And he beat it down on him. And it was a loud boom. Boom! Officer Thompson kind of froze up. And he looked down. And it was a hole in the middle of his chest. And he couldn't believe it. Officer Bordeaux had shot him. And he fell over and died. T-Bone looked at him. He said, man, man, what's going on? He told me, he said, man, get in your car. Gave him his wallet back. Get in your car and leave. Don't never come back. Leave and never come back. He said, man, he said, leave now and don't never come back. Go home. Go home. He said, and when you see your family, he said, tell them that the bond between the Bordeaux's and the Champels are still strong. He turned around and got in his car. T-Bone went one way. Officer Bordeaux went the other way. T-Bone went home, and he never came back. That's the story, man, from the Village Storyteller, y'all. Peace. Hit that like button, man. I'm out.